of our top 4 team draft. And we're going to get to see another one that was recorded at the same time as we saw the other one. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty, though. We missed the first 3 picks, but we do know what they are, and we're going to review them right now. Chart, of course, was Pack 1, Pick 1. I don't know, Marshall. What do you think?
You know, the card has been reasonable from what I've seen, but I am surprised to see it as a Pack 1, Pick 1. I'm curious what else was in the pack.
Stormfleet Spy was Pick 2.
I've liked that card a lot.
It's a good card.
Yeah.
I to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever seen it not draw a card.
Yeah, it draws cards a lot. I think that's a good card. Yeah, for sure.
And Pick 3 was a Stormfleet Arsonist. 4/4 with a raid. When it enters the battlefield, if you attack with a creature this turn, target opponent sacrifices a permanent. What do you think?
Well, we certainly see what Cody's going for.
Pirates Raid.
Yeah, exactly. And that seems to be, kind of the course that Cody wanted to go on before he sat down.
All right, let's take a look at the rest of Cody Delpozzo's draft. By the way, fun fact here, Marshall. Cody's entire team, this is their first ever Grand Prix.
My mind is blown.
And they end up in the top 4. Incredible.
Yeah, it's hard to explain how improbable that actually is.
Because it blows my mind.
Right, like a single individual might top 8 on their own and just like, oops, I did it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But team 1's insane.
Water Trap Weaver here is going to be pick 4 for Cody.
Now that's a nice pickup.
It's a nice pickup for his deck. He is solidly in blue, perhaps blue-red. Taking a look here through this next pack, we see a very nice little aggressive card in Nest Robber. There's a Spell Pierce in the pack as well. Verdant Rebirth kind of shifted to the front. Opt.
How about Pounce?
Pounce, absolutely.
How about a Pounce? It's got to be the best card in the pack that we've seen.
For sure. Rigging Runner, I think, is there at the back, which is a nice raid card as well. Opt is going to be the pickup here.
Yeah, so I think that's wrong. And here's the reasoning, is that Opt, sure, if you're sitting there in an 8-person draft and you're like, I don't really want to be in green. I kind of know what I want to do. Hey, take your Opt to do your thing, right? But that's not the situation that we're in now. That Pounce is going directly to whoever is on Cody's left-hand side, and his teammates are going to have to play against that Pounce every single time. Yep. That's hard. Pounce is a mid-level plus removal spell in the format. It's not premium, but it's also not bad. It's a pretty good card, so you got to be really careful with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, team draft is not your normal 8-person draft at all. All the cards you pass have the possibility of going into your opponent's deck and seeing them played against you as well. So Costly Plunder, the pickup here. So kind of a dip of the toe into black here for Delpozzo. But you've got to be worried. Hate drafting, not normally something you want to do, but in team draft, it is a very relevant strategy. Queen's Bay Soldier here pulled to the front if he wants to shift gears and kind of start going into black.
Yeah, it looks like he may be leaning over into blue-black here. Though I might have spoken too soon, as he's pulled a Paladin of the Bloodstained to the front of his pack.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Paladin of the Bloodstained is the pickup here for Cody Delpozzo.
I don't know where he's going here.
Well, he's certainly got a lot of colors in that pile in front of him, that's for sure. Maybe it's the old contract killing 5-color deck. 5-color special.
I would kind of like to see that.
Revel in Riches was the rare of this pack. Still in there. Blightkeeper pulled to the front. Another Opt. Wily Goblin in the pack. Opt is going to be the pickup for Delpozzo as he heads back towards blue. Demolish in this pack here. A Duress. Bellowing Aegisaur. Queen's Commission, Slash of Talons, and a Storm Sculptor, which he brings up front and is the pick. Storm Sculptor. 3/2 unblockable.
Yeah, Cody clearly wants to be in blue here. He's got 5 of his 8 cards are blue.
Another Storm Sculptor in this pack. And blue splash other colors is actually a deck in this format if you're able to pick up things like Depths of Desire, like Sailor of Means, like Prosperous Pirates that allow you treasure to be able to splash. But those aren't the kind of cards we've seen Cody pick up.
Not quite yet, no. He is leaning... It's hard to say, honestly, at this point exactly where he's leaning, but it looks like he's leaning at least towards a more raid-centric deck.
Primal Amulet here, the pickup for Cody. Not a card I think finds a good home in Limited. And here we're seeing that pause that happened earlier when we were watching the Burkhart draft. Oh, maybe not. I spoke too soon. Verdant Rebirth, the pickup there, last 2 cards in the pack. Taking a look through now to see what Cody's got going on.
It's a bit of a mess right now, Maria. This has not come together beautifully yet, though it's still early in the draft, and he absolutely has the opportunity to kind of dial in a little bit more. Like I said, blue is clearly his primary color. He's got a pair of ops, the Stormfleet Spy. He also has feelers into both red, black, and I should say also white.
Yeah.
Though the reality is that he's unlikely to want to go into white, as blue-white, at least thus far, hasn't proven itself. It's not one of the core supported color pairs. In fact,
I didn't see it all weekend.
Yeah, it's also blatantly not supported in that there's no uncommon. There's no gold uncommon that's blue and white. That said, it doesn't mean you can't play it.
No.
It's still flyers. It still has blockers. Somebody came up that did a side draft and showed me their deck. And I got to say, it looked good. It looked like a very traditional blue-white skies deck. So the tools are there. The question is just, can it be good? Probably not. So he probably won't be going that direction. But if he goes red or black, those are 2 pirate colors. He also could go red and black and go for the full pirate.
We call that the full pirate.
Mm-hmm. And you know how they say you never go blah, blah. You definitely go full pirate. Like
Admiral Beckett Brass. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would...
Well, that could definitely coax Cody over in that direction. Yeah. Well, except for the leg,
Does she have a peg leg?
I'm assuming. Patch, peg
I hope
leg.
she does.
I actually kind of want to know now.
Go look.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Don't worry, I'll keep my eye on this draft.
All right, you do that, I'll do this.
Raging Swordtooth. Fleet Swallower is the rare in this pack. It's a hefty cost, 7 mana for a 6/6. That helps you mill your opponent by exiling the top half of their library. Or sorry, putting in their graveyard. Depths of Desire in the pack as well. So
yeah,
I don't know what he's going to do.
Well, Fleet Swallower's bad. It's just not a great card. But I do see that Raging Swordtooth that Cody seems to have identified as the best card in the pack, and it might be.
Looks like he's hemming and hawing a little bit over this pick.
Yeah, I think the idea is that he just wants to take it because it's blue and it's a rare and, maybe it's okay.
Yeah, the thing is, you're putting a lot of mana into that card at 7, and you're getting a 6/6 out of it, which is pretty good, and it can help you mill your opponent. But what happens if they just have 2 3/3s out?
Yeah.
What happens if they bounce it?
Totally. And the milling plan doesn't come together so well. There's the Shapers of Nature.
Search for Azcanta down in the back of the pack. Kumena's Speaker, something we've seen be a part of Merfolk decks this weekend.
There was also a Runaground in the middle of that pack, too, that Cody might want to think about just because he clearly is leaning towards blue as the only color that he's for sure in at this point.
Shapers of Nature is going to be the pickup for Cody.
Interesting.
That puts him into green as well as blue. Maybe now regretting that pounce pass.
Yeah. Yeah, I really do think that Cody needed to take that pounce there, and there's a decent chance that we don't see a lot of great green coming from this other direction.
Shapers of Nature, a card that we've seen quite a lot of this weekend, and we've always seen it be good every single time it's been played. It's just a 3/3 for 3. You can pay 4 to put a +1/+1 counter on something. You can pay 2 and a blue to remove a counter, draw a card. He already has a couple of Merfolk already in the deck as well in the form of those Storm Sculptors. So we do have the potential for a Merfolk deck on our hands if Cody wants to go in that direction. There's another Stormfleet Arsonist. Jungle Delver in the pack, Pirate's Cutlass, a Sailor of Means, and a Siren's Ruse there at the back.
Yeah, I like the Sailor of Means in this deck, and I also like the Pirate's Cutlass. Another Stormfleet, what is it called? Arsonist?
Arsonist, yeah.
That could be something that Cody could be interested in if red is on Cody's radar. Bishop of the Bloodstained, certainly not the pick here.
All right, it looks like it's going to be the Arsonist here for Cody. Shifting back over to red, and maybe he's considering playing more than 2 colors.
Yeah, that is only Cody's second red card, the other one being, that's right, another Stormfleet Arsonist. Ooh, but here's a Fire Cannon Blast. Okay.
Kumena's Speaker there near the front. Shaper Apprentice, fine in a Merfolk deck. Deadeye Quartermaster.
Currently only has Primal Amulet. That isn't equipment or a vehicle, so nothing to search up at the moment with the Quartermaster.
Windstrider here is going to be the pickup for Cody. Passing on the blast after taking a red card.
This is just getting tough for Cody because, yeah, Windstrider's an okay playable, but I think that Cody may be better off committing a little bit to a second color, namely red, and just taking the Fire Cannon Blast there. You know, blue-red is a perfectly good color pair in this combo, and he's even got some cards that support it. And, you know, there's a major bump up in power level between Windstrider and Fire Cannon Blast there. And he's really going to want to make sure that he doesn't stick too hard to just blue because, remember, you're also team drafting. There's other players picking up stuff. And if you're taking underpowered cards like Opt and Windstrider, that means you're passing good stuff to your enemies.
Shipwreck Looter, the pickup here for Cody. 2-1 with loot on, triggered on raid. Sailor of Means in the pack, a Rummaging Goblin.
Ooh, there you go.
Aerialist, I like that. Oh, this is going to tempt him. Deadeye Plunderer is there in the back.
Yeah, again, I mean, based on how Cody's drafted, I'm pretty sure he'll just take the Aerialist because he just seems to be saying, oh, if there's a blue card, I'm taking it.
Aerialist is the pickup, gets a +1/+1 counter, enters with it if you attack with the creature this turn. Definitely a nice little pickup, is often a 2/3 for 2. Depths of Desire here in the pack, which we've seen be so valuable to the blue decks in this format.
And it looks like the best card here for Cody as well, so he'll be taking that.
Every time I've had a Depths cast against me, I just kind of look, oh yeah, you do get a treasure as well. Seems good.
Oh yeah.
Pockets full of gold, lungs full of brine. One of my favorite flavor texts in Ixalan.
Lungs full of brine?
Yeah.
Is that insinuating that you drown?
Kind of.
Wow.
Like you got the gold, but you drowned.
It sunk you down? That's dark.
It is dark.
Wow. You like some pretty... Man.
I like the heavy stuff.
Maria. Okay, that was a Kumena's Speaker.
Kumena's Speaker was the pickup for Cody there.
Still flirting with the idea of being in green.
Yep. Sailor of Means and a Siren's Ruse, as well as a New Horizons in this pack. Siren's Ruse was the pickup here, which flickers or blinks one of your creatures. If you have a pirate, you get to draw a card. Another Kumena's Speaker and a Spell Pierce in Cody's colors. All right, the Kumena's Speaker is going to be the card Cody takes. Notably, we haven't seen any River Herald's Boon.
Nope. You're right. 0. Here's a bunch of bricks here for Cody. He's not going to be playing any of these most likely, though.
Nest Robber.
You know, I will say we still have seen that he's got a couple of red cards, and somehow Cody has yet to settle on a second color.
Ryle.
It could be green. He gets a couple of Kumena's Speakers if he goes green.
Does he have it? Did he ever pick up any New Horizons?
No. He passed a few of them, but I think he figured I'm a blue deck. I'm going to be killing in the air and doing that kind of stuff.
All right, let's take a look here as Cody reviews his picks from the first 2 packs. Like we said, a lot of heavy blue here, but with forays into both green and red. We've got a Kumena's Speaker or 2, Shapers of Nature.
Yeah, those are the 3 green cards that he has in his pool right now. His red cards are 2 of the Stormfleet Arsonist. And that's it. He did pick up 1 Paladin of the Bloodstain, but really hasn't seen white beyond that. He did get that Nest Robber at the end of that last pack, and
we've seen this format at least in sealed be really aggressive.
Yeah, that is
And
true. In team sealed, yes.
Team sealed. I
Mhm.
should point that out. Yeah,
Yep.
thank you. So potentially a card like Nest Robber, just fine in draft.
Could be. We both thought it was underwhelming.
Yeah.
But maybe raid.
Raid's a thing?
Maybe just aggro. The funny part is that Cody could also just be mono blue. I mean, he's going to be approaching enough playables for it after the end of the last pack there.
When do you say to yourself, I'm just going monocolor?
And
when is it worth it?
Yeah, I rarely do. I find it's almost always better to marginally impact your mana base by putting at least like 5 or 6 lands of the other color in and get the power boost. I mean, just the way that Magic's designed using the color pie, if you play one color, you are going to have glaring weaknesses. Like blue has no removal.
Right.
You just can't kill a creature, right? And if they play an enchantment, you can't do anything about it, right? It's just, that's how blue works. So in my mind, it's totally sweet to be very heavy blue, but still, like in this case, I'd love to run at least the Shapers of Nature, for example.
Right. All right, here we go. Heading into pack number 3 for Cody Delpozzo. His entire team playing in their first Grand Prix, and I dare say their first team draft.
It might be.
Can't say for sure, but
yeah.
I do know the other team that is up against Peach Garden Oath in this draft, it is their first team draft.
Yeah.
So 2 pretty experienced teams, 2 newer teams.
Yeah. we have got 2 very heavy underdog scenarios on our hands here.
Kapala, Warden of Waves, is the rare in this pack, which
I am not excited about.
Not a
Kapala.
fan of.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad Magic card. It's not. But remember, it only protects merfolk.
Right.
And right now, he doesn't have that many, maybe 3 or 4, and that's if he ends up playing green.
Right.
And if he doesn't, then it's only going to be 1 or 2 merfolk in his whole deck, and you do not want to play 2/2 for 1 double blue in limited. You're going to be very unhappy with that.
Yeah, I actually started a deck, one of my first drafts of the format. I played a Kapala in a merfolk deck that was almost entirely merfolk, and guess what, Marshall? Sided it right out.
Did you really?
Yeah, because, the benefit just wasn't great enough.
Yeah.
I just wanted a creature that was better.
That's what I've noticed, too. He takes a quick read of Sword Point Diplomacy, but...
Yeah, nobody really wants that card.
No.
Prosperous Pirates near the front as well. There's a Raider's Wake. Interesting little card. Dark Nourishment there. Deadeye Tormentor and a Rummaging Goblin.
Yeah, so likely the best card in the pack is the Dark Nourishment here. A Prosperous Pirates, though, for Cody is a fine pickup. And he's going to have to decide if he'd like to either dip his toe into what black has to offer or... Oh.
Exali's Diviner. Looks like
I did not see that coming.
Cody is making a choice here and saying, I am going to play green. 03 Explore for 2.
Okay.
Let's go exploring Brazen Buccaneers in this pack. Sailor of Means, a Pious Interdiction. Oh my goodness, a Mavrin Fane Dusk Apostle and a Call to the Feast. Somebody get into Vampires in quick. Just kidding, it's too late.
Yeah. So this pack is relatively weak overall. For Cody, he could take a Sailor of Means. Oh, whoops. So one thing that we should mention here, Maria, is that this is what we call a called draft or a timed draft.
Right.
And that means that you are told at every juncture when you are allowed to look at cards, when you are allowed to draft, when you are allowed to pass the cards to your left and to your right. And you do... But, it's just natural that when you draft a lot, like I'm sure Cody has, you just pick up the pack when somebody puts it down next to you. You're like,
right.
What's next? I want to know. So it looks like we had a little time walk there. But so anyway, Sailor of Memes is one of the cards that he can do.
Did you just say memes?
I didn't hear that. And then he could also cut Mavrin Fane.
Yep.
And it looks like he may be doing just that.
Cutting Mavrin Fane here, keeping it from the opposing team. Definitely a strategy in team draft. Normal draft, you never know if you're going to be playing against a card. You have a 1 in 8 chance, and even then it's much lower considering what your opponents draw, if they even put it into their deck. But in team draft, it is going straight to your opponent. Sunrise Seeker here near the top, and there is a River Herald's Boon. Contract Killing still in the pack here as well.
Yeah, there's also a Storm Chaser in blue here that that Cody might have his eye on. But, I think that if he really has committed to green, he's really going to want that River Herald's boon. Nope, he has not committed yet. Siren Storm Chaser.
A little annoying card that can be tough to play against.
Yeah, this could make sense if he gets enough raid as this Storm Tamer. I keep saying Chaser. Siren Storm Tamer is a very good raid enabler.
There's another Pounce. Passed up on the first one that we saw coming around the table earlier this draft, but it looks like it's going to be the pickup here for Cody.
Yeah, further solidifying him in blue-green.
Pounce added to Cody's pile. Wow, so many dinos in this set with just great hair. That one, too, in the background of Pounce. What a nice do. Sorcerer's Spyglass, the rare from this pack, still in there, as one would expect. Pirate's Prize. Draw a couple of cards. Siren's Ruse as well. An Ancient Brontodon, Exali's Diviner, once again a Jungle Delver.
Yeah, not much here. And, thinking back to that River Herald's boon, Cody doesn't have that many merfolk, right? A lot of these blue cards that Cody's picked up have been pirates and not merfolk. And so that actually does drop the value on that card significantly.
Pirate's Prize was the pick. Here's a New Horizons, a Blossom Dryad. Deadeye Plunderers back around the table. Storm Sculptor already has, I believe, 2.
At least 1.
Yeah, that would be the merfolk component of his deck here, along with the Shapers of Nature. Looks like the Sculptor is the pick for Cody.
He's got to be careful. He's already got 2. He has 2 of those now, minimum, and perhaps a third. You said you thought maybe you saw an additional. And
you're tracking, though. You don't have it down.
Oh, I can't read my own handwriting.
I can't either. What is that chicken scratch?
Put me on the spot. You don't want too many of those.
No, you don't. There is certainly a liability because you need to return a creature you control to its owner's hand. Sometimes that's great if you have explored creatures that are cheap enough, but it already costs 4 mana to play. So, yeah, when I played that card, it is a significant drawback, and you can't ignore it. Sailor of Means here, a dive down in this pack for Coria. Call to the Feast, still hanging out in there. Single tear rolls down my face. Looks like dive down is going to be the pick. +0/+3 and hexproof until end of turn.
Yeah, it's a card that you can bring in against the right matchups, but generally speaking, it's a little low power.
Demystify, Sunrise Seeker. There's a Cancel and a Shorekeeper. Cancel added to the pile.
Prophecy's Pirates was picked up before that dive down as well, so kind of working the curve there.
Pirate's Prize, another one added to the pile for Cody. Siren's Ruse as we round out the draft here. Sorcerer's Spyglass is going to be what Cody ends up picking, I believe, from that pack, unless I'm mistaken. Deadeye Plunderers and Favorable Winds. He's going to take the wins.
Wow.
Past the Plunderers.
That's a lot of Plunderers just super
Sure
wheeling
is.
around the table there.
All right, Marshall, what do you think?
Well, that was a tough draft.
Yeah.
Those packs didn't seem awesome, and Cody really took a long time to commit himself to 2 colors. Started off looking to be blue-red with a solid pirate/raid thing going on. Ended up drifting over to green after trying out a couple of other colors, a black card here, a white card there. Ended up in green and has reasonable cards in green, though they're not great, right? We've got a Pounce. We've got a Shapers of Nature. Those are kind of the headliners, and then a pair of Kumena's Speakers, which are fine. But, those ones get a little bit tricky because it costs 1 mana, and you really, really want it on turn 1, and it costs green. And Cody's going to be something like 18 or 19 blue cards, maybe even 20.